Thank you for making me the first speaker. Still, we are fresh, having our coffee, and because my subject is the first thing we need to speak about. This is the clicker. Okay, I will speak about Ajlan and Brothers in a minute, but first of all, we need to understand what is the booming we have in Saudi Arabia for Vision 2030. We are building the entire country, and I'm honored to be in Saudi for the last 15 years. What is happening nowadays is not presented. So we need to build everything. And when we build everything, we need to focus and take a look into the backbone. The backbone for all these projects is nothing but infrastructure. When we say infrastructure, everybody thought about power, water. Yes, you are right. But infrastructure is any service should be provided to any society or country. So if you are building a house, which is our job all as a real estate sector, we need to think about from where this house will be served. When I say services, that means water, power, education, hospitals, medical services, society services, everything. All this circle in front of you is called infrastructure. Today, we are having this infrastructure actually has been like a backbone for any society or economy growth. Normally, the larger infrastructure as a big cities are developed by the government. Nowadays, maybe 15, 20 days ago, the private sector start to invest into the infrastructure sector. And Ajlan and Brothers, now they have their own company to do infrastructure partnerships and investment as a co-investor and co-developer. Today, we will talk about from where this idea came from. In 2015, when the vision initiated, it was based on the 17 goals of transformation in the worldwide. Basically, this is the 17 sustainable or development goals need to be adopted worldwide to assure that we have a better life, better humanity. Out of this 17, the infrastructure goes for 3 and 4 as a social infrastructure, what we call it social infrastructure, like the medical and the education. So we have to be a good health and educated to be a good human being in that society proposed by United Nations. Out of others, we can find all the other goals is actually dependent on having a proper infrastructure in your city, in your country, in your neighborhood. I'm talking about energy, water, food, sea, cleaning, climate change, all of that. So we can say that infrastructure actually, it is a pivotal and very essential element to your development for any country or for any project. Scale-wise is a country, and project-wise is also dependent on a proper infrastructure. And our colleagues here who are coming with their material will not succeed in the proper way if you don't have the proper infrastructure and backbone for your project. I have only 10 minutes, so I need to be a little bit faster. So again, Vision 2030 for KSA is dependent on the 17 sustainable goals. And this is what we can say, the focus of the infrastructure to have a national industrial development, logistic, housing, and privatization, public investment fund, PIF team, which is already here. And we have all these projects is actually the main driver for those projects to succeed is having the right infrastructure around. As you can see in the report in your hand, we are talking about $1.25 trillion projects for infrastructure and real estate in Saudi. This is a massive work all of us need to do to work together. Only $250 million dollars have been announced out of that, and this is all we can diversify them into the infrastructure by these percentages. Every day we have a new percentage because we have every other week we have a new development announced by the Crown Prince. So actually, we don't have any time to just think about what we have to do. We need to just sharpen our saw and start to serve all these developments, which is the driver for all of us. I'm not going to name them because everybody is represented here in this respectable hall, but we can see how much the magnitude of this project. We are talking about 22,000 kilometers square. It is actually like another country we are building inside the Saudi. And we have 30,000 keys for hotels, 580,000 population, and etc. Why the private sector would invest in the government infrastructure mandate? Is that profitable? Why actually as a private sector we need to build a power station or a road or a bridge or a port or an airport? Is that private? Because the private sector should make money, definitely, and should help, of course, the country, but in the other time, we need to make some money. Yes, we have a marginal profit for this infrastructure because the demand will not stop. And the contract for any contract for infrastructure, it has a fixed price over the next 20, 25 years. So this is an attraction for the investor and co-investor to come and put their money on the infrastructure. It is not dependent on how much you are succeeding in your supermarket or your mall. It is actually a mandatory service need to be provided to the country. Last but not least, we are talking about infrastructure. They are resilient and agile. If you remember our bad time in COVID, the only business which is recovered in that fast it was the infrastructure, which is recovered in no time and just come to the right returns at no time. The IRR is talking about 14% in medium term and minimum by 7%. This is a very good IRR if we are talking about a sustainable, fiscal sustainable investment over time. And here the IRR, of course, by the competition of the developers, it is coming down a little bit because now the material is common, the model is common, and everybody is around whatever he needs to have. I'm not going to speak more about the infrastructure. We all know about this now. And I just wanted to encourage you to have the right communication with the infrastructure developers because they are your area of how to build your model and how you achieve there. It is not like a very easy task to be achieved. In the last 2 minutes of my presentation, I will go for some of the risks and some of the challenges we need to think about this project. We have to talk about what is the business model we need to have, what is the contract type we need to have between business and business, what if the regulation is adapted to host this type of business or not. It is well matured here in Saudi and is moving on the right direction. The proper master plan for your project need to be adopted and the specification, of course, need to be there. And that's why you have to assure that the specification matching to your products you are going to have there. In the build section, we have the timeline. It's very tight to deliver this project. So we have to have the right quality of people to deliver these projects on time. And the delivery of the supply chain is coming. And the partnership with your local partners and local contractors is a key to assure that your product is coming in the right time. Either you are providing a product or providing a project. The manpower is, again, another challenge. You can imagine $1.25 trillion projects are happening on the same time. How many manpower will be there? Of course, they have the operation challenges as well. I'm not going to spend, we have 30 seconds in the presentation. The project is not the end of the day. You have to think about your supply chain after the project is completed and we have our operation and maintenance contracts. We have the manufacturing facility need to be also done in this country, which is very ambitious, not for only 2030. In few weeks from now, we will hear about 2040 vision very soon. Thank you. much for your listening and hope we can see each other one-to-one once again. Thank you.